Welcome to Cooking with Chef Fletch, guys. Of course, I'm Chef Fletch. So here, we're all about cooking, learning new recipes, and having fun along the way. Today's recipe, a Weight Watchers stuffed pork chop with green beans. Alright guys, first things first, we're going to get our onion cut up. So we're just going to cut off the ends. Got both the ends off. We're going to cut it in half. Now the recipe on Weight Watchers says half an onion, but my onion is small, so I'm actually going to go ahead and use the whole onion because it's kind of a small onion. So we got our onion cut up, or we got it cut. We're actually going to throw it in the food processor with the celery. So there's our onion. Make sure you get all the skin part off. So there's our onion. Next we'll get our celery ready, guys. Alright guys, so next, the recipe on Weight Watchers calls for half a stalk of celery. So I have a question for y'all, and it's a conundrum to me. What is Weight Watchers considering half a stalk? So I looked up what is a stalk of celery, and I got even more confused. The definition said a stalk of celery is the whole thing. So one stalk of celery has a lot of branches. But it also said Americans consider a stalk of celery one branch. So I was a little confused. How much celery does Weight Watchers want us to use when they say half a stalk? Are they saying half of the whole bunch? Or are they saying half of a branch or rib? I'm not sure. So I'm going to actually I've got about 2 branches or ribs of celery. I cut them up a little bit. We're going to get them thrown in our food processor. I already got my onion in there because the recipe says they want them finely chopped. So I just how to use our food processor would be the quickest and easiest way to get them finely chopped. So we'll get our lid on here and we will blend it. We'll process them up. So there you go, finely chopped. Now guys, if y'all have any suggestions on the amount of celery I should use, feel free to comment below. Guys, let's go ahead and get the rest of our stuffing mixed together. So I've got the onions and celery that we did in the food processor. I'm going to get them in our mixing bowl. Have 3 tablespoons of breadcrumbs. Now the recipe on Weight Watchers, it said plain breadcrumbs. I only had Italian style, so it's already got some seasoning. I'm deviating off this Weight Watchers recipe quite a bit today. It actually said 2 tablespoons of liquid egg substitute. Well, I don't have any of that. So I'm throwing 1 egg in there. Probably about the equivalent of 2 tablespoons of substitute. And then I'm also deviating on the spices because the recipe, it called for fresh chopped spices. It called for some sage. It said a tablespoon of sage chopped. Only had some dried sage, so I only actually did a teaspoon because dried is a lot more potent than fresh, so you don't need quite as much as you would the fresh. Same thing with the parsley. It said 1 tablespoon of fresh chopped parsley. Again, only had dried, so a teaspoon of dried parsley as well. Here's the only spice I didn't deviate. It called for a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, so we got that in there. We'll just get this all mixed up, guys. Get that egg saturated in there. We'll get it all mixed up, guys. It's going to look quite a bit like stuffing. You would do a stuffing with turkey or whatever for Christmas. So we've got our stuffing mixed. Now we got to get our pork chops ready for the stuffing. Alright guys, so next we got our pork chops. I got some thick cut ones because we're going to cut into them. So we'll just take our knife about in the center of it and get a we're going to just cut a deep pocket into it. So guys, I got the knife. Don't want to go all the way through. I've got it down in the center, and we'll just go ahead and cut this pocket. Now my pork chops that I got do have a bone in them, so we won't be able to cut through the bone. So guys, we just want to create a pocket just like that, so it looks like it has a mouth almost. Then we're going to take our stuffing that we made earlier, we mixed up, get a spoonful in there, maybe another spoonful, get it nice and stuffed. Now if you want, guys, you can take some toothpicks to kind of hold that opening closed so that it doesn't come out while you're cooking it. There we go, guys. Got one stuffed. I've got 3 more to stuff. So, alright, next, guys, we want to take our pork chops that we got stuffed. Now, I decided not to do toothpicks myself. We'll see if it's a disaster or not. But if you want to go and get those toothpicks to keep that opening closed, you can. So I've got it in our pan. I've already put a little bit of oil in our pan, and we've already got it warm. So we're just going to put our pork chop in. We're going to sear our pork chops for about 5 to 7 minutes on each side. Then we're actually going to finish them in the oven. We just want to get that nice seal on them to hold the juices in. Listen to that lovely sizzle, guys. Like I said, 5 minutes on each side, and then we'll flip it over. So guys, don't do like me and flip with the opening down, because your stuffing might fall out. Some of mine did. Okay guys, another part where I'm going to deviate from the Weight Watchers recipe a little bit. I'm actually going to deglaze our pan so we can get all those pan drippings out of the bottom of the pan. And then we'll get that poured in with our pork chops, just so we have that extra juice and extra flavor that they get from the, the juices from the pork chops. So we're just going to pour a little bit of white wine in our pan. This is just white cooking wine, guys, just to get it deglazed. So that cooking wine just helps us be able to scrape all the stuff that was on the bottom off of the pan. So we'll get all this poured into our skillet, our baking pan that we've got the pork chops in. We're going to finish them in the oven, guys. Alright guys, so we got our pan deglazed. Just going to pour these drippings right into the pan with the pork chops. And scrape all that yummy goodness. We want to keep all that yummy goodness in there. Now guys, we're just going to take a piece of foil, cover up our pan with pork chops. I've got our oven. It's preheated, 350 degrees, guys. They're going to go in there for, I'm going to say we're going to put them in for 15 minutes, and then we're going to take the foil off, and they're going to continue to cook a little bit longer. So 350 degree oven, in for 15 minutes, guys. Alright guys, I just pulled these out the oven. They've been cooking for 15 minutes. We're going to go ahead and take our foil off of them. And here's another area I'm going to deviate from the Weight Watchers. Mainly because my family loves green beans, but we love to cook them in with the pork chops. So I just got a can of green beans. I'm going to dump here in the middle of the pork chops. We're going to throw this back in the oven, guys. It's going to cook for an additional 10 minutes or so. Then we'll check our pork chops, make sure they're fully cooked. So it might take a little bit longer, but we're going to get them back in the oven for at least another 10 minutes, guys. Alright guys, they just came out the oven. I'm going to go ahead and grab a pork chop. And that looks good. See those juices running? And that's going to be good, guys. And go ahead and get that set on our plate. And go ahead and get us some green beans on our plate as well. Like I said, family loves it when we do the green beans this way because you get the flavor from the pork chops mixed in with the green beans. So we'll get that, and you know what time it is now. Taste test time, guys. Man, I can't wait. And guys, this looks good. Try some of our green beans. Like I said, I love cooking the green beans with the pork chop because it gives it that extra flavor. Those are good as always. So now let's get cut into this pork chop, man. Been waiting for this. Oh, see those juices flowing? This is gonna be good. Get a small cut. That might be a little bit too big of a piece. Let's go ahead and cut it in half. Definitely want to get some of that stuffing on there too. Stuffing, pork chop. Oh yeah, this is gonna taste good, guys. Yep. Definitely got that classic stuffing taste that you get on Thanksgiving. But with pork chop, oh man. That's good, guys. So juicy still from the pork chop. Got that from the sear that we did on it. Helped hold the juices in. And also deglazing that pan and throwing the juices in while I cooked it in the oven. Nice and moist, guys. That stuffing, classic stuffing taste, guys. Now guys, remember, cooking should be fun. So have fun with it, guys. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this video. If you did like it, make sure you share it with your friends. Always looking for new subscribers, so hit that subscribe button, bell notification so you can get all of our recipes. And also guys, if you want to comment on this recipe, I look forward to it. See y'all later.